This is the poor man's screen plot. Stay tuned. We're going to cover establishing some Egyptian wheat in a small hunting location that's going to be a little transition food plot. So stay tuned. This is about as simple as it gets to establish Egyptian wheat. So here we go.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me. I know most
go over how I'm establishing a barricade or screen cover to a new hunting setup that we're creating for this fall. We're starting to establish a new food plot here behind me, and it's just a little transition plot, hunting plot if you call it, whatever it is. Basically it's just a spot where deer aren't going to spend a ton of time, but they're gonna be encouraged to travel through this little pinch area with this food. And the thing I want to do is barricade off access as I'm coming into the stand, but also breaking up this open hill country in here so deer have to come into this little food plot to feed or see if there's any doe, or if a buck's cruising up there, he can sneak down in here to get a look to see if there's any does down in here. So that's what we're doing today. We are establishing Egyptian wheat behind me here. Never done this before. We came in and started clearing this area and then we sprayed it. So it's starting the early stages where we're going to be able to get some seed in here pretty soon. But one of the big things I'm doing is establishing this little barricade right here. So this is an open hillside and they travel along the top in here quite a bit, and this is a spot where I will access into a deer stand right here. I want to screen this section off so deer in this food plot can't be seen by deer traveling up here. One, that'll encourage bucks to come down into this little food plot to get, to check for does, but also it allows me to access into this spot better. The deer aren't completely exposed to anything moving up here, and it's just going to improve this little hunting location that much better. And I'm going to help try to manipulate or encourage the movement of the deer to come out of the bedding area here and then slip up that direction over to another food source up over on that hillside. And I've actually cut a trail over to that side, so we're just trying to make it easy access to come into this food plot and work their way off that direction. And this is going to be a rough and cut way of establishing the Egyptian wheat. I've already done just a pass or two with this little tiller. It's not the easiest thing to use, but I just want to use these other tools and show how we can establish food and screen and do all these land projects without all the big fancy tractors and big equipment. Obviously this still costs money too, but I'm just trying to use so many different types of tools to help showcase, you can get creative on how you establish these little food plots, screens, any type of land project. So we cut and spray this a week ago. I think I would actually try to cut this much lower if you're going to use something like this tiller behind me, because it is just not powerful enough to handle roots and all this long brush, grass stuff that's in here. It's having a hard time doing that. but it is working. So you just kind of have to grind it out a little bit, but I would definitely recommend cutting this as low as you possibly can. Kill it with some sort of herbicide and come in a week or two after that, because that will help eliminate some of the problems with getting this tiller to actually dig up the dirt. So this is just a couple rough passes. It's not good enough for what I want to do yet, because we're going to come back here once we get this spot tilled up, and we are going to use a little 1-row planter that you push, and we'll put some Egyptian wheat in here. It's the middle of June, so we have plenty of summer here to get this Egyptian wheat to shoot up and get ready for this fall. So let's...
But I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy because they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss, and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something. My focus is A1 every...
Okay, so we haven't planted yet, but we already ran into our first roadblock, if you will. We got this simple little 1-row planter here. I was excited to get it over here and try it with this Egyptian wheat, and I did not switch out the disc. There's a little seed disc that goes in here, and you can see these are giant holes. This is for corn, and I just don't want 5-6 plants planted in the same spot. Just don't think they're gonna do super well. So we're gonna broadcast it instead. Kind of making stuff up on the fly here. We're gonna take our Egyptian wheat, just hand sow it right into the dirt, and then we're going to hopefully rake it in a little bit. Just another day on the land. Sometimes you have to adapt, and really I think it'll do all right if we just hand broadcast it. It's such a small area. This will be a good test. Let's see what hand broadcasting does with Egyptian wheat. Let's go. Well, that was a lot quicker. I just took small handfuls and just loosely shook it onto the loose dirt here. When you look at it, I mean, it's pretty loose right now. So what that's gonna help with by broadcasting the seed, it's gonna be a little easier for that seed to get down to a low enough depth to have a good stand of Egyptian wheat. So we're going to basically pack this in and rake it in, and we're gonna call it good. We have rain in the forecast for Friday, Saturday. It's coming up in a couple days, so this should do all right. I probably way overseeded this, knowing that not all of them are gonna go, and if it does get a little too thick, live and learn, but it'll still go really well. And stay tuned.
Dog has his day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you, and I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. They ain't coming close to me. Flow is on atomic. I'm starting fires through poetry. The hardest out. Staying loyal, no falling out.
I just took and walked through this little screen plot, and I'm just stepping the seeds in this loose dirt, kind of spreading the dirt around with my boot, covering some of the seed. And that is how you rough and cut plant Egyptian wheat. If this does any bit, if this does Well, I'll be back. This is about as simple as you can get. Plant and seed. This is about as redneck screen plot as you get.